Okay, and now we're going to start doing some problems involving percent. And to kind of make it fit with this section on formulas, or the reason why they put percent in here in the section on formulas is because there's a formula for finding percent. Now the book uses A equals P times B, where P represents the percent, B is your total, and A is your part. B is your total or your whole amount. P is your percent, and A is your part. Okay, which is great. For some people, that works really, really well. For me, I'm a little bit more visual, and I also need to kind of always visualize the fact that a percent is for every 100. I kind of use that basic definition. So I'm going to demonstrate it a little bit different way than the book does. You're welcome to do what the book does, do it the way I represent it, or if there's another way that makes more sense to you and you're consistently getting the right answers, you know I support that. So, and I'd love to see it too, so I have another way to explain it to students. So the formula for percent that I like to use is the idea that when you have part of something and you compare it to the total, so part over total, that is equal to your percent over 100, because that's what percent means. It's a way to compare. You might have a pie that's cut into 4 pieces. You ate 3 of those. That's the same as if you ate 75 out of the 100, 75% of that pie that was cut into 4 pieces. Now the reason why for me this formula is helpful, because you will end up seeing the equations or the percent questions have a version that looks like this. Part of total is the percent. Okay, and there's 3 pieces, or it might be kind of rearranged like this first one. You'll see what is 8% of 300. You'll see them kind of rearranged in different orders, but if you'll look at if you look at the pieces of this, whether they're rearranged, they all represent the same thing. Okay, so there's always going to be 3 pieces as part of this equation. There's always going to be the part, the total, and the percent. Okay, the 4th piece is 100. That's what a percent is, so you don't have to worry about that part. So our goal is going to be to set up this proportion, really, this fraction equal to a fraction, because then we're going to be able to cross multiply. Okay, so 1 fraction equals 1 fraction, and then we can cross multiply. Now the reason why the book does it differently than this is because they're focusing on solving equations, and so they write it as a single equation, A equals PB, and they don't worry about the percent. They actually convert that. They don't worry about the over 100. They convert the percent to a decimal and then solve the equation from there. Again, totally fine. Both of them are completely legitimate. You decide what works best for you. But anyway, here's what I want you to know. There's going to be 3 pieces to every problem. Okay, the part, the total, and the percent. They're going to give you 2 of those pieces. 2 pieces will be given to you. Your goal is to find the missing piece. Find the value of the one missing piece, whether it's the part, the total, or percent. Okay, so, and here's what I want to really drive home here. The piece that goes in percent, the part that goes here in the percent piece, will either have the word percent or the percent sign after it. And you'll know that that number that has the percent sign or the word percent after it, that's the number that goes over 100. Okay? The other thing that you can always count on is that the word of will be there. And of always comes before the total. So of always comes right before your total amount. And the total amount goes up here under part. Okay? So remember I said there'd be 3 pieces that are given to you. Two of them will actually have numbers with them, and the other will be what you find. So if there's a number with the word percent or a percent sign after it, you know that goes over 100. If there's a number after the word of, you know that goes in the total. And then the third piece, that whatever's left over, whatever number or item is mentioned that does not have the percent attached to it, and it's not directly after the word of, that's your other part. Okay, so the other reference, whatever else is referred to either as a missing piece or as a number, that represents your part, what goes over your total. So what does that mean? Let's look at that. So let's read this. What is 8% of 300? So the very first thing I look for is my percent, because I know I'm going to have part over total equals percent over 100. Okay, and here it is right here, 8%. There's my percent sign, so 8's going to go right here. So right now I know I have 8 over 100 on the right side. The next thing I'm looking for is my of. Where is the word of? And there it is right there, of. The number right after the word of represents my total. So 300 is going to go right here at the total spot. So the other thing that's left, in this case they refer to it as what, that is the part. That's the piece that we don't have yet, the part. So that is our x value in this case. So x represents, in this case, the part of the total that we're trying to find. Okay, it's basically what 8% out of 300 here. What is 8% of 300? Again, this is not the only way to do this. If you do the A equals P times B, B is your total, P is your percent, you would then take that percent times 300. Percent can be converted to a decimal, 0.08 multiplied by 300. You've got your part. Okay, I'm just showing you another way to think about it in case the book method is not your friend. You know, everybody learns differently and understands things differently. So I'm just giving you another way to do it here. I've got my fraction equal to a fraction set up. I can cross multiply. 100 times x equals 8 times 300. That gives me 100x is equal to 2400. I divide both sides by 100. And that gives me x equals the 100 goes into 2400 24 times. So I get x is equal to 24. So that means that what is 8% of 300? It's 24. Okay. And we'll readjust and do the bottom of the page for the second video there. Some more practice with percents.